Okay, so today is October 8th of 2024, and I'm just going to go over daily outlook as well as the um, previous day's price action. Okay, so yesterday I was bullish coming off the morning session after I noticed a few signatures in price action. Right off the Sunday open, we swept previous day high, and then we drew lower, and with London low, we swept this previous swing low on the 15-minute. The one thing I should have kept into consideration was I did not take into consideration how the 4-hour closed uh, at during the 10 o'clock macro, because if I had noticed that, then my bias would have been completely different. Um, at least I got half of it right. Half of it was uh, half of it was due to the fact that there was a gap here at 50% of this range, and so my only objective for the morning session should have been up here, and then if I had actually noticed that, then my bias would have switched into the afternoon session with the knowing that price was failing to get above this area here. So that I failed in that aspect. Pretty shitty. Uh, yeah, I felt pretty shitty afterwards because I did not notice that. Just a simple detail I completely overlooked. And had I known that, again, I would have been able to catch this whole move here instead of trying to catch little pieces here and there. So anyways, um, so yeah, had I noticed this close at the 10 o'clock macro, I probably would have my bias would have switched after I seen that price failed to get above 50% of the range. But regardless, um, on the like I said, coming off the morning session, I had noticed the price swept this low in the 15 minutes. Same thing here, swept out low. So I knew that price had at least swept the sell side, right? So with that said, with with that in mind, I wanted to see price trade back into 50% of the range, or maybe even target these highs up here. So I began looking for an entry here as soon as price drew into 50% of the range. So what I wanted to see is coming off the 0930 open, I wanted to see price draw into 50% of the range and then draw higher, and that's exactly what we got in the lower time frame on the 15-minute. Here we go. Right here and right here. Okay, so as you can see, ES drew into 50% of the range as well as NQ. NQ swept these lows here. ES did not. That to me was confirmed SMT. I actually got long on a couple of contracts here. Actually, I believe first it was down here somewhere, and then it was down here. And then caught that move up, covered one up here, and then I saw a retracement. But that retracement kind of scared me out of the rest of the trade. Irregardless, was able to make a quick buck there. And so I did change a few notes, change a few things that I probably will take into account today. So we'll see. Um, but anyway, so again, price swept these highs. So going into the 1300 macro, I believe it was 13, actually 1100 macro on ES. On ES, I noticed that price swept this low here. Price did not sweep this low here. That's another SMT. Not only that though, but I also noticed that, where is it? Okay, right here. So since my bias was still bullish, I wanted to see price sweep the lows, but first sweep the highs. So with ES, price swept this high here, swept this low here on the 5-minute, and obviously you can see here in the 1-minute. As soon as price did that, I wanted to see price sweep this low here, and it actually swept this low here. And on top of that, so once price did that, I actually got long here, and first it was here, and then it was here, and then I covered into these the sweep of these highs up here. I did hold on to one to see if maybe we swept this high here, but again, had I noticed this 4 hour, I probably would have just cut it, cut all three of them up here instead of just two of them up here. As soon as price swept this high, and I got stopped out on the last one. I believe it was here, because what I wanted to see is I wanted to see price respect this breaker here, which is right here, as you can see, this breaker here. I wanted to see price hold this, and it did for a little bit of time, and then I got stopped out at this low here, which is where my stop was. So that was it for my trades on the day. But again, we had displacement lower afterwards, and again, had I known the 5 minute, I probably would have been able to nail this trade, because I did see SMT at this high. Where was it? Right, SMT at this high, and SMT between this high and this high, and SMT between this high and this high up here. This one failed to get above. So that in itself was SMT. And then you come back into the 1300 macro, actually 1400 macro after the candle close. You see right here, the price failed to get above, could have entered here, and then ridden that all the way into down here. I did kind of believe that maybe we were gonna sweep this low as soon as price got to this level here. This area here, I was actually expecting for a reversal, and I didn't get in on the reversal because I saw this right here, this move here, as displacement. So I wasn't too convinced that we might reverse and then head to the highs. So that was one of the good things. I noticed that instead of because this move down here was just a sideways move, and had this move down here been kind of like this one, then it might have enticed me into getting long. Same thing here. This move down here was sideways, but this move is displacement. So if this type of price action would have been this down move, then I probably would have gotten long. But because of the fact that this was displacement to me, I did not get in, and thankfully I was able to avoid this. But again, had I noticed that this was actually a 4 hour, I probably would have started looking for shorts. Again, that's a failure on my part for not noticing the 4 hour, for not noticing the 4 hour, because what I had been doing up until then was I actually was relying on the 60 minute, and the 60 minute to me was still bullish. But had I noticed the 4 hour, I probably would have nailed that trade in the afternoon session as well. And so yeah, pretty good day today. There is no news today, so I do expect price to be trading sideways. This is not sideways. This is actually displacement lower, followed by second displacement lower. So you do have two areas of displacement down here. So I would expect for Asia and London to have maybe consolidated here. If I see consolidation, what I want to see is consolidation, manipulation lower, sweep a buy side, then a continuation lower to tackle these lows down here. We do have relatively good lows down here as well as down here. Right here. So all these areas are relatively equal lows. So if price sweeps these lows, then what I look for is continuation. If price displays lower or continue to displace lower, I am not looking to get in until we get 50% of a retracement with clear buy sell sides taken, and then continuation lower. This is the trend I'm following today. I'm not looking, obviously I'm not going to base my trades just off of this trend, but what I do want to see is I want to see a unwillingness of to see price get back up above these areas to later see failure. As I always say, as above, so below. So I do expect price to actually trade until this area down here at least, and then maybe tackle these lows down here going into the news tomorrow. Because I think what we're getting is we're getting distribution lower to maybe see a smart money reversal going into tomorrow, which is when the news come out. Well, high impact news during the 1400 macro. So again, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for consolidation, manipulation of both lows and highs, and then I want to get short at the highs once I notice displacement lower. If I see that. So if I don't see that, if I just see consolidation, and then we get a sweep of the lows, then I would expect price to come back, sweep the highs going into the 10 o'clock macro, or even see a sweep of the lows during the 10 o'clock macro to then sweep the highs during the 11, and then in the afternoon we get a displacement lower. So let's go ahead and see where we're at right now, and trade from there. Again, there is no news today, so I will be expecting for low probability setups, and I will be looking to take my profits off early once I have them. I will be trading in pairs of 3 today with NQ, and I will be looking to still trade minis on ES. But that all depends on how price developed overnight. Okay, so we have sweep of the lows. We have relative equal lows here. We swept the previous day lows. We have sweep of previous day lows here on the 4-hour. We have not yet gotten above this area here, so I will have to zoom in and catch another one. So this is what this is what I want to see. So during the 10 o'clock macro, I want to see price fail to get above this area here, or fail to close above this area here. Previous day low was swept. This is sell side. So I don't think we come up here to take out buy side, because this technically is buy side. This is the morning high, the New York morning high. This is the gap right here. 50% lays up here. We do have relative equal lows all the way up until this area here. This is the current morning low. I'm not going to add that there. Previous day low. So PDL has already been swept here. That's why we're drawing higher. I can take this off. Right down here. So there is SMT here between this low here and this low here, where price swept this low. It's 4-hour here. So I think we are getting distribution towards the lows here. So my bias remains bearish. But again, I want to see how price closes during the 10 o'clock macro. No, this isn't actually it. It's actually this right here. This is buy side. We have sell side swept here on the 15-minute. 15-minute sell side was swept as well. Price failed to get to this area here, so that's why price displaced through midpoint here. So maybe up here, I will be watching to see how price reacts in these areas here off of this 1-hour order block here. Okay, same thing here. I want to see how price behaves here. Again, we're at 50% of this range. We have displacement lower. We do have these gaps here, but I believe that this is sell side right now. This is all generated liquidity, which I would like to see get swept, maybe today. But again, I do have to see displacement. The only thing that's keeping me from actually wanting to take a shot up here is this new week opening gap, which could act as a magnet. We do have SMT down here on the hourly, between that low and this low over here. Okay, so higher time frame bias is bearish. This could have been the 4-hour sweep I was looking for. Because if I want to, since I'm bullish, what I want to see is I want to see buy side get swept, which is up here. Then I want to see sell side get swept. Sell side here has not been swept yet. So I cannot begin to think that we're bullish just yet. Maybe we are just now momentarily until we sweep these highs, or we reject this area here, or yeah, until we sweep these highs here, or we reject these areas here. So I cannot be bullish just yet, not until we sweep these lows down here, because that's the mechanics that I'm looking for. Same same concept as, where was it? Right here. Here we swept these highs up here, we swept these lows, and we continued higher. Actually, right here. Swept these highs, then we swept these lows, and we drew lower, we drew higher. So that's what I want to see. Same price action here. I want to see these highs get swept, which already did. Then I want to see these lows get swept for me to think lower. So as it stands right now, I'm looking at this as a retracement into 50% of the range. This right here to me is a mitigation block. So I will be watching to see how price behaves right here. So this is the area I want to look for. What's the word? I want to look for rejection. Let's take a look at the 15-minute now, and the 15-minute is the last time frame I'm going to look at. So on the 15-minute, I don't see anything. I mean, we do have displacement lower, but other than that, I don't see anything. We did take out buy side up here. And we took out sell side. Okay. Took out buy side and sell side. We do have relative equal lows down here. Which also happens to be the current New York low. We have displacement higher. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I mean, I like down here, but I don't like up here just yet. Here we don't have anything. And the SMT is between this low and this low here. And this low and this low here. Yep, right there. Okay, so we did sweep sell side right here. And buy side up here. Okay, so what I'm looking for right now, um, yeah, what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for price to sweep buy side, and then we get the displacement lower. Uh, the only thing though is on the displacement lower, I don't think I'm gonna jump in just yet because this price action is not as clear to me. This right here is consolidation to me. We do have expansion overnight, and when price does that, it's likely to do a seek and destroy type of way. So what I want to see is I want to see the highs or lows get swept, and then I want to see price tell me what it wants to do by, and the way it tells me is it shows me which way it displaces. So depending on which way it displaces, I'll be looking to take a trade in that aspect. The 15-minute is not as clear. That's why I'm a little skeptical of taking anything right here. Again, we do have displacement lower. We do have a swing high, swing low, purged. I want to see this swing high get swept now. Same thing here. We have a purge of the high and the low, and then maybe one more sweep of the highs. Um, but aside from that, I don't see an entry anywhere. So I'll be very careful today. Again, no news today, low probability setups. So I'll probably take my time today with where I want to take with when I want to take my trades. We do have 5 minutes until the open, so until then, I don't have a clear understanding of where price. Similar to yesterday, um, up until this point, I really had no idea where price was going to draw towards. I did have an imbalance up here, which I thought was going to be a target or the initial objective, and I was right about that. But then what it was going to do afterwards, I really had no idea. So that's why I took my profits early. So same concept today. I I still have no idea what it wants to do. If price does not sweep these highs and comes back down to sweep these lows, then I'll look to get long. If price sweeps these highs, then my bias remains the same, uh, which is to get short later on. But as it stands right now, I don't think it's a it's a high chance that I don't end up taking a trade during the morning session, and we'll see. Because again, on the 15-minute, I would at least like to see these lows get swept. Once these lows get swept, I would like for price to retrace back into these highs up here, and then for me to get the draw lower. Same thing for me here. I would like to see these lows get swept because even though this is buy side and sell side and they've already been swept, same thing here, buy side, sell side, and they've already been swept. That's on the 5-minute. It's kind of on the 15-minute, but um, I don't trust the 15-minute because it's not as um, decisive. It's not as clear. So again, I do have an idea of the lower time frame, but no idea as to the higher time frame just yet. Again, we are at 50% on the higher time frame. We do have an um, an order block as well as a breaker here with an order block, but that doesn't mean that price is not going to trade back into sweep these highs up here. This right here is a balanced price range, right? This is a balanced price range. Actually, crap, can't believe I almost forgot that. No, all right. There's nothing up here. Up here, I don't trust this area. This is a void right here. Tiny void. This whole area is a balanced price range as well as this area here. So again, I don't know. I don't know what price is going to do today. Well, not today, but during the 10 o'clock macro. But as price develops, I'll probably come up with a plan or a bias. I mean, everything to me on the higher time frame is telling me that this area right here should act as resistance. But because I have no idea what price is doing, I mean, right now it's drawing towards the highs, obviously. But what it does after it gets to these areas, I don't know. I've already pointed out the fact that this is a balanced price range. Balanced price ranges have a hard time giving up price, meaning that if price gets up to these areas, it'll have a hard time getting above. But if it just cruises through it, then I'll probably look at these highs up here to see what it wants to do. We just swept the highs. Okay, so let's see what it does. Maybe one of these pairs sweeps the high and the other one doesn't. So that would be better for me as far as SMT goes. Okay, it just opened. We get a sweep of the lows. Actually, this is better. This is better. Let's do it this way. Because now we have a clearer picture here. A clear 15-minute sweep. Sell side here. Clear 15-minute sweep up here. Let's see what it wants to do on the 1 minute. Yep, it's going to come down to sweep these lows down here. And then I think we're going to have a 10 o'clock macro trade. We are trading back up there. Traded into 50% of the range. All right, I just got short. Just a quick one, just one micro. I'm not looking for price to trade back up there. It did. Oof. And we're still drawing higher. Okay, I added one more. My stop is up here. I have about a 9-point stop, so it's permissible. I'll just take my trade if the next one just sweeps the high. I mean, I'll just take my stop if the next one sweeps this high. 56 is my target. One is drawing towards the lows, the other one is not. We're at 50% of this gap here. I want to see how price reacts here. This breaker is now my stop. I don't want to see price close above this breaker. There we go, come on. This low is, if ES breaks this low, then I'll take my stop here because that's SMT at those lows. So I'm better off just waiting on the sidelines until this low gets swept. Come on. Okay, so now it's testing this breaker here. Again, I want to see price respect this breaker. Five more seconds. All right, I'm gonna take my stop right there. All right, so I just took my stop. Now it'll probably draw lower. All right, I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'm just waiting on a better entry. Right there. All right, so I got a better entry there. Still have my stop up here. I'm using this order block as my main point of 20 points is my stop. I want to see it come down and sweep these lows down here. Still have SMT at the lows. It's failing to close above. That's the only reason why I keep coming back. The minute one of these closes, a candle closes up here, I'll take the stop. We have this breaker here, this area here, it's acting as support, but I want to see it slice through that. Once price sweeps these lows, what I want to see is I want to see continuation lower. I don't want to see price stall. I don't like these wicks here. I want to see it slice through. There we go, beautiful. We're starting to see something. I want to see it slice through consequent encroachment here. We just swept these lows. So on ES, I don't want to see it stall. I want to see it continue to draw lower into these areas here. And we are having trouble trying to get below here. There is SMT at the lows now. Yep, I'm not liking that, but I'm watching NQ, not ES. Okay. Okay, so the fact that it did that, I don't want to see it get above anymore. We are leaving a quick void here. If it fills, what I want to see is I want it to fill and then just continue drawing lower. Okay, I just took it out. No point in staying on, so I'll just wait until the 10 o'clock macro. Because again, we have SMT here. Actually, we don't. We have relative equal low still. Now this becomes, well, this is still the breaker. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out, because now these are my target, my areas of interest. So made back what I lost earlier. Well, not all of it, but some of it at least. So I think we are drawing towards these highs up here. It looks like it, maybe. Because we do have SMT at these lows, at least on the 15-minute. So for now, just watching. This is a breaker. So one of the things I'll do is I'll watch how price reacts here and here. I can take this one out. Well, no, not really, not yet. This right here is a balanced price range. Still holding. Okay, good. All right, so what I want to see, if we are to draw lower, what I want to see is I want to see price close down here maybe on the 15 minute. Actually, no, not on the 15 minute. Let's see here. Yeah, in the next 15 minute, I want to see like close down here. And then we get a retracement back into this range here, and then we get continuation lower. But that's only if we do what I expect it to do. If we just consolidate, then we might draw higher to take out the highs again. We have 4 more minutes. We're still holding above this area here. We have SMT at the highs. We're still drawing higher. The only SMT is between this low and this low here. There is SMT at the highs as well. We are drawing generated liquidity up here. So yeah, I think I'm going to look for a long here, but that all depends on how price reacts after it sweeps this low over here. We just rejected that order block over there. All right, I'm in short again. That's a pretty telling um, reaction. Nope. Good thing I only took one. All right, I just took it off. Yeah, I'm what's the word? I'm gambling right now, so I'm better off just staying off the market. Because again, I have no idea what it wants to do. We swept the high, no lows. We have plenty of resistance up here, but it's not acting as it. Um, so best for me to just remain outside of outside. What's the word? Uh, on the sidelines. There you go. I think I'd be more comfortable getting short up at the new week opening gap. Yep, I'm glad I'm staying away. The other thing I could think of is this could be the manipulation leg because we're still technically within the order block and we just hit 50% of the order block, which is right here. So yeah, I'm just going to continue waiting. Let's see here. That's 50% right there. Yep, I think we're going to buy side. We just swept there. Nothing. We're a couple points away from buy side. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. I don't need that anymore. Yeah, I think I'll be more comfortable shorting once buy side gets taken, and E and Q is closer to buy side than ES is. The only thing, like I said, the only thing that keeps me from maybe doing that would keep me from maybe doing that is the new week opening gap. The new week opening gap is right above buy side, so again, new week opening gap always acts as a magnet to price, which is right up here. So we could very well, actually, I just remembered something. Okay. Right. Double purge on the daily yesterday. So it does make sense that ES is drawn towards the highs. We have a breaker here. 5-minute breaker. I literally just missed it. Darn. Okay, so this would have been my only trade, but I want a quick dip into this on the 1 hour here in about 15 seconds. So come on. Nope. There it goes. All right, so no trade. I don't think there is going to be anything during the 10 o'clock macro, which is fine. I mean, I didn't, I took a couple really retarded ones, covered them, so my loss is very low. But those are just ill-advised. Yeah, I just completely forgot about that daily formation. We just took out buy side. That's SMT at the lows. There's SMT at the high. I mean, that's SMT at the highs. There's also SMT at the lows, so I'm not taking any trade. We got displacement higher. Darn, this was a beautiful entry right here at 9:56. New week opening gap is right here. We're already way above this, so at this point, I don't have a trade idea. So it's best to just watch until 10:10, disconnect from charts, and then reevaluate after going into the 11 o'clock macro. At this point, I'm not getting short up here. It would be nice, but I'm not doing it. There is SMT right there also. We could come back to sweep these lows now, where I've seen that plenty of times actually. I can take this out. I can take this out. This is the low. Yep, ES is also going to the highs up here. Actually, it's better if I do this. Right there. It's probably holding here. Really like how it held here. It probably should have been my first indication, but I don't see any sweeps. Oh, we do have now something. That's displacement. Right there. Nothing. No displacement. I mean, it could come back into at least 50% of this range, but if it does, what I want to see is I want to see sweep these lows first. Otherwise, no entry. Nope, nothing. One more minute, then I'll cut it. The stream. All right, so that's it. I am done for the day. Well, not for the day, for the morning session. I would like to see these lows get swept one more time if I want to continue to be bullish bias, because we did displace higher. We are above 50% of this range. Um, but aside from that, I don't see anything else. It's definitely gravitating towards these areas here. seeing something here. We didn't sweep highs. Here we did. Nope, nothing. Okay, yeah, that's it for today. No entry. Didn't get anything. Again, ill-advised trades down here, but kept those to a minimum. So for the 11 o'clock macro, maybe I want to see some sort of retracement into these areas, get swept, and then we get continuation higher, or at least to 50% of this range. But aside from that, I don't really have a bias as to where it might lead to next. Yeah, I don't see it going anywhere. Maybe we come down here, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you tomorrow.